Hello everybody, Cam S here. Just got out of class and we are about to head home for episode 2 of Chasing Tails. I am not sure how well the hunting will be this weekend because it's supposed to rain today and tomorrow. I think I'm still going to head out tonight and tomorrow and just sit in the blind, but hopefully we can get something done. The 12 point popped up on camera again last night shortly after sunset, so hopefully that's a good sign that he's getting closer to being not nocturnal. It was like an hour after sunset, so that's a good sign. I had another decent buck show up on camera. I'll have to check my trail camera that does not send it to my phone as well to see if there's any activity out there. So I will hopefully see you later tonight out in the woods.
I'm up in the tree stand. It is pretty warm still this year, but not as warm as last weekend. It's about 10 or so degrees cooler than it was last weekend. And the mosquitoes are already very bad. I had just got sat down and I'm already getting bit up, so I might be a little antsy tonight. The scrapes are pretty well freshened up, and there's a few new rubs on the trees as well, so my dad is back in his blind out here hunting as well, so between the two of us, hopefully we can see quite a bit tonight.
Early into the hunt, I heard a loud thud off in the distance and a group of does got sent running in. And shortly after, I had a small buck coming behind me, as I tell you right here. After this, I had a small lone button buck come in, and I noticed that I had some more action behind me. And right here, I was trying to tell you that there was another buck behind me.
It's starting to rain. I haven't seen anything for quite some time now. And sunset is about 15 minutes out. Sounds like my dad ended up shooting one earlier tonight. So we're gonna hopefully be able to look for a deer tonight. He's not sure how good of a shot it was. He thinks he might have pulled a little bit on the shot, so I'm gonna set it till dark, and hopefully we can maybe get a double tonight, but hopefully they start moving a little bit more in the rain, but as soon as this rain started, they disappeared, so I'll keep you posted.
And at this point, I decided to start packing up. I actually had my camera in my backpack when I noticed some deer running in from the distance, so I pulled my camera out real quick to start recording. But this small group of does had seemingly been pushed in by a buck that soon followed behind them.
Well, I'm not sure if you could see that or not towards the end of that hunt, but I had a few does come running in and a small buck, it looked like, stand right underneath me, and that's what I was showing you at the end. I was packing up and I had what looked like a pretty decent buck come running in, but I couldn't really tell. So, and Dad ended up shooting a buck. And what's your story behind that?
It was about 5:30. A doe. I'd already seen a small 4-point and about 10 does come out, and another doe came out into my shooting lane, and it was moving pretty quick, and coming fast behind it was a decent buck. It came out about 40 yards away, and by the time I got my bow up and got ready, it was probably close to 50 yards away, and it was going straight away from me, so I didn't have a lot of time to decide exactly what it was or how big it was, but it had some decent mass and was pretty tall. So it was moving pretty fast away from me, so I grunted, and it turned sideways, and I shot, and it went about 10 yards and started going back into the brush, and when it turned sideways again, it appears I made a horrible shot, and it was right in the hind quarter of the deer where I shot it. But when it stopped before it went into the brush, it was kind of wobbling around a little bit, and I could see my arrow, and I didn't get a ton of penetration, and it was horrible placement. So unfortunately, it's almost 8 o'clock now, and it's raining, and it's 70 degrees, so we're gonna go back and take a look for it. Normally I would try and wait a little longer, but with the current conditions, we don't have much of a choice but to go out there and see what we can find. So we'll head out there and see if we can find any blood or anything at all. So
Hopefully a buck.
I know it's a buck, but whether or not it's dead or it's just running through the woods with a arrow sticking out of its hind quarter, I'm not sure. So we'll find out soon.
Yep. So this is the blind right here that he shot it from. We're gonna head our way down there to where it was at when he shot it, and then hopefully find some blood where the impact was made. So where did it come out of there?
It came out right over there. So the deer came out from the south over out of that brush right there, and it walked across kind of to the center of this trail right here, and turned and went straight that way to the east. And like I said, I think it was right in this area where I finally got it to stop and turn. And from my blind to here's about, with the rangefinders, about 53 yards. So I guess we'll see what it walked. Once I shot, it walked that way, or it kind of ran, I guess, after I shot it, but it only went about 10 or 12 yards before it turned to go into the woods. So right in this area is where I think it went in at. What do we got up there?
That didn't go very far for the shot you were saying.
We will find out here in a minute. Hopefully it's dead, not just taking a nap.
Not even blood on the ground.
I'm glad he didn't go far, because I'm not sure with the rain that we've been finding much blood.
No, I don't
There's a little blood right there.
see any at all.
Right there, son. I think he's out.
That looks like a very nice
It's
one.
a very lucky find.
Very nice one. What are you calling it? 7?
I think so. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, let's take a look and see how horrible of a shot it was.
It's a very big body deer.
Holy cow. That was even a worse shot than I thought. Extremely lucky.
Very nice deer though.
Decent rack.
Hello everyone, we are up in the tree stand. It is the night after my dad was able to harvest that pretty nice buck. And it looks like we may be getting lucky this morning. It was supposed to rain all morning last time I checked. When I woke up this morning, it looked like all the rain had passed. There's not a chance of rain until about 10 o'clock this morning, so hopefully we'll actually be able to stay dry this morning. And I had a hard time deciding which tree stand to sit in because the wind is not the best for any of my tree stands. But I decided to sit in the same one that I was in last night so that I could possibly have a closer look to some of these scrapes. And hopefully it's the right decision. But when I look, a giant buck walked by the other tree stand that I was going to sit in. So I guess we can only see how it goes.
Not too long into the morning, I had this lone doe make its way through, but it seemed to pick up my scent on the trail that I walked in on. A little while after this, I had this small buck make its way directly behind me. And shortly after this buck walked off, I had another buck come in that I thought was the same buck, but after I got a look at it, I realized that it was much bigger. After this buck made its way into the brush, I noticed a few more does make their way through. And at this point, things started to slow down quite a bit because this was the last doe of the morning.
I guess this wraps up this morning's hunt. I'm not sure if I made the right decision with that buck or not. When I first saw it coming in from behind me, I thought it was that smaller buck from earlier because I just saw the body of it. I could tell it was a buck, but I couldn't see the antlers, so I just kind of assumed that it was that same smaller buck from earlier. So I just turned around, got my camera ready, and turned it over. And I realized it was a bigger buck at that point. And I still kind of thought it was like that same smaller 8-point that I passed up opening morning. It was like right underneath me. But as it got farther and farther away, I kind of got a better look at it through the camera. And I think it might have been a different buck. And it might have been a little bit bigger. So I'm just worried that I'm being too picky and I don't want to go through the whole season being too picky and not end up being able to harvest anything at all. But I also don't want to shoot a small buck when I know there is much bigger ones out here. So I guess I'm not really sure. I'm kind of going back and forth with it right now. But I sat in that tree stand so that I could be closer to that scrape that my camera is by. And at 7:30 this morning, there was that bigger buck on camera at that scrape. So I don't really know how I didn't see it. It was 7:30, so right there around sunrise, so it must have been still pretty dark. But I didn't see it at all. I didn't hear it. Only about 75 yards away from my tree stand, so must have just snuck in right to that scrape and then went back into the thick stuff. So not sure how I missed it, but oh well. We still got a lot of the season left. Hopefully we can make something happen. I think possibly tonight I'm going to switch things up and go to the other place where that 12-point is at. They're still pretty nocturnal there, but I think I might try bringing like some antlers to rattle with. I know it's still pretty early in the season for that, like they're not completely in rut yet, but on my trail camera I've seen videos of them fighting, and then shortly thereafter the big buck, like the big buck, comes in and pushes them out. So maybe if I do it before it's 9 o'clock at night, that it might trigger some bucks to come in and investigate. So I think as of right now, that's the game plan for tonight. But I will let you know if anything changes.
Well, it is our first time sitting in this tree in this field for the season. And it's kind of a funny story because I just got a memory from pictures today that popped up. I shot a buck 7 years ago today on the other side of this field, so just the chances that I was going to so there goes one camera angle out the window. Well, it's getting pretty dark now, and the wind is switching up directions, so I don't think we're gonna end up seeing anything tonight. I did see like 2 deer like 1,000 yards away, like way back on the other side of the field by the woods, running. I don't know if they're chasing each other or running from something, but I don't know why I thought that suddenly these deer would change up their pattern. I kind of just like figured that maybe if they were showing up at 9:30 that they were out in the field before then, just not coming by the camera. But I guess I was wrong. I will not be able to go out tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go out tomorrow night, but hopefully I'll be able to go tomorrow night. So either you will see me tomorrow night or the following morning. Hello everyone, this is not where I planned on or wanted to hunt at all this morning. I checked the weather and there's only about 40% chance of rain. So I was gonna sit in the tree stand. And on my walk back in, I saw lightning and heard thunder. So I am sitting in my dad's blind that he ended up shooting a buck in earlier this weekend. So I didn't want to sit in the tree stand with the lightning and thunder, obviously. So that's where I'm at right now. The camera work may be a little shaky because I did not prepare to hunt from the blind, so bear with me for this trip. I think I got it figured out, but hopefully my dad's not too mad at me for drilling a hole in his wall with the tree stand mount. But I think we're all set up now, ready to go. And I did not get done last night or yesterday morning, but of course when I get home last night just before sunset, I had dinner and looked out in the backyard and there's 2 bucks chasing does in the field that I was hunting in the night before when I saw nothing. So just my luck, but there was a buck by that tree stand this morning at 6 on my trail camera. But I figured if I would have gone back there, I probably would have kicked him out of there and would have not seen anything. So I was planning on sitting in the tree stand that I did the other morning until the weather had other ideas.
Before these 2 does made their way in, I noticed quite a bit of movement all the way down at the end of the trail, but they went through too fast that I could not tell what they were. But after these cleared out, there was quite a bit of commotion in the brush in front of me. But once this stopped, the action died down quite a bit this morning, so I decided to give rattling a try. But that too proved to be very unproductive.
Well, I think that's going to wrap up this morning's hunt and probably this weekend's hunt as well. Probably going to head back to school today. I have class tomorrow. So, just going to call it a weekend. I was going to hunt tonight and possibly tomorrow morning, but it's supposed to be raining off and on all day today. And like 75 degrees, so I think I'm just gonna hold out until next weekend. It's supposed to cool off like 20 degrees by the end of next weekend, so hopefully that will get the deer moving a little bit more, and hopefully it'll get a little bit more productive. Congratulations again to my dad for being able to harvest that very nice buck, and hopefully I can follow that up very soon. I hope you all enjoyed this week's video, and I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I will see you next time.